Hey everyone. Ugh, I'm on a crunchy bad day today. Exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm wiped. It's been so busy this week, and I'm trying to keep on top of fitness, as usual. Broken record there, I keep bringing that up, but I try to keep on top of fitness as well as everything else I have to do when, outside of work with, general house stuff, cooking and being there for my girls and doing things around the house. But there's been a bit of DIY and gardening to do this week. Those potted plants out there, they're actually plants from my front garden that were in the ground, and because we're going to be changing the front garden, we're going to be digging all the ground up and putting sheeting down and then stones. We wanted to save some of these plants, roses and herbs and things, so that was quite a lot of work. Been a few trips to the shop late at night to get things, from B&Q, which is a DIY store, again, to get plant pots and soil and bits and pieces. So many of the nights I haven't really settled. But also because I got kind of addicted to watching this show called Des, which is about Dennis Nilsen, serial killer in the week there. I do like my serial killers and dark things. I don't really talk too much about that on here, but that's the other side of my personality. I'm into a lot of horror and things like that as well. Got to balance out the good with the horror. I've done a lot of work on the project this week, and finally got round to having the calls that I've been promising for so long. And I spoke to Eugene and Kerry this week, and wow, it was so cool. It was so good to actually speak to people that have got dystonia because they understand. It's the first time I've been able to speak to people that understand the unpredictable nature and the the baggage that comes with dystonia. Now, both Kerry and Eugene's dystonia is completely different to mine. A lot more severe. Eugene he's had an amputation as part of a treatment, which was the root cause of why his dystonia is so bad now. But I'm a very introverted person, and to be honest with you, it was something I was a little bit nervous of. I was positive they were going to be lovely people, and to be honest with you, I was overwhelmed with how lovely they were. Lovely, lovely, lovely people, and I can't wait to speak to them again now. There's still other people that I'm trying to reach out to. The problem that I've got is the time zone, and because of my weird sleeping pattern. So I tend to wake up at about between 4 and 5 in the morning, which means that I'm quite exhausted and wiped out and ready for bed by 8 o'clock, which means I'm trying to wind down by about 7 o'clock p.m. By then I'll have already had my food, I'll have already just started watching a bit of TV, and I just want to chill. And it's because at that point, by getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, by 7 p.m, my brain is zonked. It's completely zonked, because I'll have also done a full day's work. I'll have cooked dinner, I'll have cleaned around the house, I'll have done washing, I'll have worked with my girls doing homework, on top of any of the random DIY stuff I'm doing. And with the way that time zones are working, many people are either 7 hours ahead or 7 hours behind. So if I was to look at having a call, I couldn't have a call at 5. See, from 5 o'clock in the afternoon, from between 3:30 and 6, I am doing homework and doing dinner, I'm doing all these things. By the time we get to about 6:30, 7 o'clock, like I said, I'm winding down. That becomes like the first most appropriate time for people perhaps that are in parts of America and Canada, and that's about lunchtime there. On the other side, then the other extreme is people that are 7 hours ahead of me. So, Australia, that means really I need to be having a call before I start work. Now I start work incredibly early. So I would need to be having a call, for me to have a call at an appropriate sort of time for people in Australia. I need to be having the call at, 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, because then that's about lunchtime. After that, I'm working. I work until say 3 in the afternoon. It's now 10 o'clock at night in Australia. So it's very tricky to work around time zones. And I don't want to sound selfish, but when I hit the weekends, I need the weekends. I am going to, as we get closer to sort of scheduling podcasts, I'll do one podcast a month and I can work around that. But, the weekend tends to be the time that I can finally settle down with my girls. My wife will do dinner and things and I chill. So this week, I loved the calls. I loved them. So good speaking to people. And it was, like I said, it was good to speak to other people that understand that, the abrupt nature of how dystonia creeps up and comes into your life and you don't know why, and the other baggage that comes with it. It's not just the physical aspect, it's the mental aspect, the exhaustion. To look at me now, you'd think there's probably, if you were looking at me for the first time now, you wouldn't think there's anything wrong, but my neck is going crazy right now. It's if I just, let's just head down. So I just don't like it. I really don't like letting my neck do what it wants to do. It's really humiliating. Anyway, I'm pretty exhausted, but with regards to the project then, so I've converted because me and Eugene, when we had our call the other day, we did it on Skype, and what I've done now, I've managed to convert that to audio, and there's a lot of things which are perhaps not relevant for the podcast, so I'm going to take them out. So I'm going to sort of do a bit of editing, but then I'm going to try and get this all up and launched then by middle of next week, I say. Meanwhile, there's been more people that have got in touch that have actually that would like to be on the podcast as well. A person called Perry had contacted me, pointed out that my contact form on my website wasn't really working properly, so that was good. So it was good to be able to have someone be able to tell me what it's like outside my my own laptop, which the form seemed to work fine on there, but then when I ran the same test, I checked on my phone and things this morning, the contact form, the podcast form didn't work at all. So I did put my own pilot podcast on Spotify and a few other places as well during the week there, and I just talked more about my dystonia. So if you are interested in that, if you look up Warriors of Dystonia on Spotify, or if you look up the website warriorsofdystonia.wordpress.com, you'll find links there to listen to the podcast, and also if you wanted to be on the podcast, to share your story. Anyway, it's Friday. I'm going to go and crack on with work. Taking it easy a bit today as well, and take care everyone.